How's everybody doing tonight? It's been a long day. I am tired. Yes, I do look something like Santa Claus. I got a lot of bushy hair. It's coming off. Everything's coming off, folks. So don't worry about it. Um, Today was March the 8th. What a fantastic day. Those of you know, the number 8 means resurrection. So for me, March the 8th was a significant day for me. And I'm excited to watch the movie starring Ben Affleck, The Way Back. I didn't get to see it this weekend, but definitely will be looking forward to seeing it. So I want to share with you guys a song. People like mellow songs that kind of excuse me for a second, that kind of calm you down and chill. So I'm gonna sing something for you guys, and I don't know how it's gonna come off on this recording. I was singing anyway. But The Way Back is kind of my story as well. It's kind of my story. So definitely looking forward to seeing that movie. I can relate. I might recommend it for some other people who lost loved ones or lost somebody, whether it's relationship wise or whether it's literally. Okay. I'm gonna sing this song. You'll hear it in its completed form soon enough, but since I'm in a creative, I was walking in the still of the night from the store weekday, and it was interesting because when I was walking down the street, there wasn't a bunch of cars moving on it or anything like that. I think I was coming back home, and you gotta excuse the yawns because I'm sleepy. It was somewhere around like 10 in the night, something like that. And I was walking through the neighborhood, and it was so quiet. Like you could tell everybody was in the house, either watching TV or whatever, or sleeping. Not a car on the street, and it was so strange because usually when I'm walking through, the car's moving up and down or something. And so with that observation, and also the thought, because in my country, people play slows, but the slows are generally love songs or whatever. And sometimes, you listen to Security Guard or whatever in a school or, as I was passing my school, and they're playing this love music, but really it's slow music to calm you down. So the thought crossed in my mind, why does it have to be always romantic or love songs or sexual for it to be slows to chill out? And so this song popped in my head. It's not really religious, but it's not really anything. It's just a song describing my walk home. So I'm going to sing it for you guys. And it's real chill. Now, if you guys know Detroit Sound and you guys know, music from the 60s like the Motown sound, this will be it's something like Motown sound, but it's not really quite like that. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to play it on the keyboard. Let me go and play it on the keyboard for you guys. A little fun. I don't know how it's going to actually sound, but hey, might as well. I'm going to pull out the keyboard. Oh, the keyboard's already out. You like that? The keyboard's out, so I'm just going to play it for you guys. I really like this song, so. Let me see if I can. Is the phone going to fall? Is it going to fall? Are you going to fall? Nope. You might see my face, or you may. Yeah. Oh, still got it there. All right. It goes like something like this. I didn't warm up, so I can't remember how it goes. Okay. Sleepy night in my country, mellow night in the city. Sleepy night in my country, mellow night in the city. I see the signs shining in the moonlight, on the way, on the way, on the way, on the way, on the way. I tried to do it, but I can't remember it right now. The song, for some reason, I still don't remember it. I haven't had it down pat. Which is sad because it took me a while to just get it. So this is just gonna keep on running. I want you guys to hear how music sometimes is developed, but for some reason right now, I'm kind of out of sync with the vibe, so I just have to kind of put it together. I see the streetlight shining in the moonlight. Sleepy night in my country, a mellow night in the city. I see the street signs shining in the moonlight. So it goes something like this. Sleepy night in my couch. Okay, here we go. It's not as with music, it's not always counterintuitive what I'm doing. When you hear the finished package, it seems so very nice and smooth and easy, and you think it's easy to sing, but there's a lot of little nuances to what I do, which make it very difficult to sing. Sometimes people have a lot of difficulty harmonizing. Even I initially had difficulty harmonizing my own music because I realized it's so counterintuitive to what you expect. So back in the days, in the 80s and the 90s, and even the 70s, guys would have intros that seemed to have nothing to do with the song. And they would just come in on these really strange moments in the song with a completely different song. And that's the same thing happening here with this intro, okay? Just so you guys will know. Oh my God. See, it's very difficult. I can't actually nail it down perfectly, but I'm gonna get it just now. Sleepy night in my okay. Sleepy night in my okay. So let's try again. I think the tempo's a little too fast as well. Sleepy night in my country, real night in the city. I see the street signs shining in the moonlight. Sleepy night in my country, mellow night in the city. I see the street signs shining in the moonlight. All the way, 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 all the way. There you go. All right. So it gets a little bit more complex than that. So we're going to try and get it done, right? Let's just try to get the core thing together. So you're going to hear me going it over and over and over and over and over, okay? This is how the process of songwriting is. There's a lot more stuff to my lyrics as well, but this is the core of it. So here it is again. So why is this music sound like that? Okay, so I'm gonna explain it to you. So I'm walking down this quiet street. Think about you walking down the quiet street. That right there tells you that there's a hint of fear inside of me. So I'm walking down, it's way too quiet. And of course, I'm wondering if something's gonna happen. So that's what you're feeling in there. Then I start to vibe it, and so the music comes the way how it comes, and this is the feeling that I get. And so, like, I'm breaking it down for you guys to understand where I was coming from an instrumental point of view. This came after the core song. So this intro that you're hearing came somewhere in the middle of me composing this song. So it sounds like this. It's all feelings, right? Okay. So this song is divided into sections. And I'm trying to remember exactly how it goes. It actually has a structure, so let's try to get it there. Sleepy night in the country, a mellow night in the city. I feel the street light shining in the moonlight. Sleepy night in the city, mellow night in my country. I feel the street vibe shining in the moonlight. All the way, 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 all the way. Right? Okay. something. It was something different. That's why I think about it. All the way. That's it. All the way. 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 It's not exactly like that either, but I'll get it. All right, so you guys are giving me troubleshoot through this entire song, which I played completely from start to finish this morning. So that's a piece of the song as well, and then there's this piece. All the way home. So it's saying all the way home as I was going home. All right, it's the song. So let's try and put it together. All right. That was not correct. Sleepy night and I gotta get it right. I gotta get it right. Sleepy night in my country, mellow night in the city. I see the street signs shining in the moonlight. Sleepy night in the country, mellow light in the city. I see the street signs shining in the moonlight. All the way, 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 all the forgot what it is. All right, it'll come back to me. Wow, I clean forgot how that goes. That's all right. I'll start from the beginning again. It'll come back to me. Yeah, so this is how sometimes songwriting is. It's a repetition. It's a repetitive thing sometimes because you just can't get it all put together. Once you kind of put it all together, it's great. But just the process of putting a song together can be so interesting. It's intriguing how it goes, but I can't resist it. I have to go over again. See, in songwriting, you know, these days what guys do is they put a beat together and they loop it, right? And they make a whole song for beat, and that's cool. But I always believe that organically done songs have different parts to them. And you put one part here, and you put another part here, and you put another part here. And actually, the lyrics for the song that I have, actually, there's a lot more to it. So I'll try and get the lyrics right if I can. But I'm recalling the song that I went through this morning. You ready? So here we go. So you guys are just getting just a raw feel of how you put together stuff. Okay, so I forgot to come in again. Let's do it again. So some people say, well, hey man, this thing's kind of tough to do. Because I had a song I did, Power Might. And I was having my cousin sing it, and she had difficulty with a certain part of the song. And it was kind of designed in that way that it was counterintuitive. It sounded really nice and smooth when I sing it because I know what I'm doing. It's like a progression is just really weird. And it's not easy to sing because it's just weird, to be honest with you. It's just not the way I conduct a progression. And here, the challenge here is to connect to, okay, because this is a different rhythm to that one. This one is, and this is, that's the challenge. And to make it seem seamless. And you have to start the progression. You have to start the singing from here. From here. So that's why it's kind of troublesome for me even. I come in too late. So let's try it again. And you can't come in too early. Sleepy night in my... There you go, that's it, perfect, right? I'm a little bit panicky, so I can't panic on it. Let's go again. Sleepy night in my country, mellow night in the city, and I see the street signs shining in the moonlight. Sleepy night in my country, all the streets they are empty. It's a hard night. There is no peace tonight. All the way, 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 all stirring tonight. Everything happens like yeah. Is it except the peaceful moonlight? All the way, 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 all the way. One more time. All the way, 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 all the way home. That's it. That's the song, right? So it's still rough. I'll try and do it again and try and make it flow a little bit better, but that's the idea behind the song. It's coming back to me, but very slowly. I still haven't put the lyrics together correctly for you guys. But let me give you the feeling of it. So I was walking home, like I said before, at a really weird hour of the night. It's dangerous what I'm doing because people are getting killed and snuffed out. People are getting killed at 2 o'clock in the morning. People are getting killed at 8 o'clock in the night in the area I'm walking in, even though it's supposed to be a safe area. But instead of having a sense of fear, which I initially started to have, I started to capture the moment. You know, art is a beautiful thing. You can capture the moment of a situation. And remember, it's supposed to be sort of a mellow, chill, soft sound. And I'm hearing this Motown sound in my head. And I picked it up from listening to somebody with their slows. And I realized that's the vibe around. You know, at the time, people kind of laid back after carnival and stuff, and they just want slow vibe. And so this feeling came, and I just said, you know what, let's just rock with that. I put this song together, and I started singing something. At first, I mean, it just sounded whack as hell. After I kind of laid down the Motown song, and then I tried to sing over it. And this was not done in the studio. This is me walking home. Usually, let me just say something. A lot of my songs happen when I'm walking somewhere or running somewhere. That's when I get a lot of inspiration. I get inspiration everywhere, but like if you're walking home, for example, like I'm walking home, this kind of stuff happens. So I was walking home at like a really unreasonable hour of the night, like 10 o'clock or something, minutes 11. And there's nothing moving. But if you went onto the main road, now if you're coming into the housing, the sort of suburban area, it's quiet and dead. And it's really, at first it was for me, because the other thing I should say is this particular night, I really took my time and just walked slowly back home. So I was walking very, very slowly.
which made me, in my mind, I was like, I'm very, very vulnerable right now. People don't realize how slow I'm moving. So I was walking back to the house really, really slow. I left the house really slow, and I purposefully tried to maintain that rhythm as I went to the city, because the city is a lot fast paced and there was just a lot of cars and traffic and people just moving by, and there was some crazy ass people. Sorry about the verbiage, but a lot of crazy people driving their cars and stuff. And like, it's fast paced. Like this place, I didn't realize how fast paced it was until I left my house, and I hadn't gone out or anything for the day. So when I left the house and I was actually walking, I was just casually strolling along, and then I just realized everybody around me was just rushing. And I thought that was pretty crazy. Anyway, I went out to the like the 7-Eleven thingy out there. Cars were just moving by like like I was like in slow motion, and everything was like you know. And as I was heading back, and I was feeling a sense of loneliness. Like I was felt very alone as I was walking back. And I almost felt like I was sick or something, like I was weak or something. And I was walking back anyway. And I wasn't sick. I wasn't weak. I was just slow. I was slower than everybody else. And I purposefully tried to keep that. I didn't want to feel the energy around me speed me up, because if you haven't realized, once you start to intermingle with people and stuff, like you can see my energy is pretty high, right? Um, you get energized by their energy. So just the activity around you moving so fast makes you speed up, and then all of a sudden it looks normal, and you don't realize you're moving faster, right? So I purposely did not want to have that influence me. So I was paying attention to myself, and I'm trying to calm myself down, even though my heart rate sped up with everything that was going on. And I purposely was trying to slow myself down to take my time, like how I was strolling, and just stay in a relaxed, very low baseless state. And it made me feel almost like a strange, like if I had an illness or something, because I felt so slow compared to the rest of the world. People were just going by like I didn't realize how fast people actually move and that their energy states are so high. Anyway, so now going from that high energy state, and then you entering into the, the suburban area, heading back home, and it just became dead. It was dead, like nothing was happening. And it moved from energized, and it was just about 30 minutes before the same area was energized. There was people coming up and speeding down streets and just craziness, like people literally, a guy would be way down the road in his van, his pickup truck, and he would race. And there's like an intersection there, and he just raced towards the intersection, and you could see the pickup truck just coming crazily at me. And I was like, man, I need to get out of the road. So I just kind of casually got out of the pickup truck's way as he just sped by me. And it would cause speeding up. I'm talking about like streets. I don't understand the people's mindset. I don't know why they have to rush, but they were like in a rush. And I was like, wow. And it obviously gives you an adrenaline burst, because when you see somebody coming at you like that, so, you have to kind of like calm yourself down. Anyway, I was heading back inside, and I was listening to the music that people were using to calm themselves down after a hectic day. And it was all, either love songs or sexual songs. And I was like, I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to calm themselves down. And I challenged myself. I said, I know several songs that are calm songs and not necessarily down that vein. And then this idea came to just compose a song on the spot. I challenged myself. And so that's where this song came from. And then it sort of grew into its own organism. It was very, very simple at first. In terms of the music was cool, but like the vocals was really, really, really simple. And this is a different key to what the key I was singing in as I was coming up. And the song started coming and shaping and forming itself. And it's still evolving to this point. And so that's where this song comes from. And I chose to pick that topic because that was what I was observing. And while it does have, and that's a long story for another time, it does have spiritual connotations, which I can always spell out to you guys some other time. It's basically a literal descriptor of what was happening as I was coming in. So I was coming in, the place was dead quiet. And when it's that quiet, there's one of two things that could happen. Something really violent could happen next, or um, it could just be a casual, quiet walk at a time when everybody else is just resting. And there are different spots in the morning and in the day where everything's just down. Have you ever there are certain times in the morning where everybody's sleeping. I don't care who you are. One of those times, for me at least, to notice, even when sometimes I'm up when everybody else is sleeping, is just before 4 o'clock in the morning, or sometimes at 4 a.m. Everything shuts down between 2, not 2 because sometimes things happen at 2, but somewhere between 2:30 and 4, everybody shuts down. If you was up all the time, you was shut down at some point in between there. I could be wrong. Sometimes it's a wider spread. Sometimes it's like from 2 till 6, but I doubt it. Usually 2 to 4, something like that. So if you've been up all night, you're going to shut down somewhere between 2 to 4, right? But anyway, there's also sometimes these rare moments where way before 12, sometimes it's 10 o'clock in the night, 11 o'clock in the night, everything shuts down. And I felt like that was one of the weird hours of the day where I was walking in. Of course, I didn't plan it, so it was kind of haphazard. And I was walking in at this weird hour where everything was dead quiet. Like, it was dead quiet. I wasn't hearing a TV. I wasn't seeing lights in houses. Everything was blacked out. And for some reason, whether people were out or just coming in or whatever, it was dead quiet. And it was very peaceful. And I just kind of absorbed that. And I said, you know what? I just want to make the song on that. And that's how that came about to be. That's how the song came about to be. So I know it doesn't feel fully finished. I'll give you a finished product eventually. But I really like it. This selection of tone I tried to pick was Funky EP with, I don't know what the dual tone is on this thing, but it's a dual tone, Funky EP with whatever it is that's backing it up. And this is not exactly the rhythm of it, so this is just a skeleton, but initially the harmony for All the Way and the sound, I was hearing something more gentle, like a Sade kind of thing, but this evolved into something else. And the chord progression was a little bit different to what I planned it to be. And then there's a couple other things that were added to it that are a little bit jazzy, just slightly. I don't want to be too jazzy. I want to be kind of flushed out. And so that's where I'm at with the song. So here it is again. Hopefully I can remember how it goes. I'm just like, okay. And yeah, it does sound very simple and plain and kind of like, it reminds you of maybe a Steve Urkel Full House, how they kind of have these simple chord progressions. But that's how you get more elaborate things. So you get the skeleton of a song, you know what the progressions are, and then guys change up the syncopation and the rhythm and all that kind of stuff, okay? And there's no percussion here, so don't look for it. Sleepy night in my country, mellow night in the city, and I can see the street signs shining in the moonlight. Sleepy night in my country, a mellow night in the city, and it is so quiet. Ever in the night, and all the way, 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 all the way. Sleepy night in the country, and nothing but an empty streets without a star now. Everything is somehow everything is empty. It is such a time. It is such a lie. All the way, 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 all the way. All the way, 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 all way, all the 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 way. Sleepy night in the city. I middle time in my country, and I can see the street signs shining in the moonlight. Sleepy night in my country. All the streets they are empty. No one is stirring, 'cause everybody's sleeping. Alright, so something like that. Just to know you guys, I'm gonna run it again. You know, a lot of people don't realize how many times people run a song over and over. I have a friend, Alan Clemens. Shout out to you, Alan Clemens, if you ever see this video. And he runs songs like hundreds of times to get the perfection of it. And you know, it takes a lot of work to put a song from the skeleton that you see here all the way up to an elaborate song, but it's really a lot of fun going through the process of doing this. And this is where I'm trying to get you guys involved in the process. A lot of you guys are gonna be like, God damn. First of all, I don't like the song. Second of all, man. But I'm enjoying this immensely. So I just want you guys to feel what the process is like. And I hope that some of you guys will be inspired to actually create your own music. Right? So let's do it again. From the top. I just trying to remember it. Okay. Sleepy night in my country. In the city, and I can see the street signs shining in the moonlight. Sleepy night in the country. All the streets they are empty, 'cause it's a quiet night, and everybody's sleeping tight. That's not it, but all the way, 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 all got caught. I said, now the storm is stirring, 'cause everybody's sleeping. I said, all the way, 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 all the way home. All the way, all the way, all the way, all the way home. All the way, 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 all the way home. All the way, all the way, all the way, all the way home. All the way, all the way, all the way, all the way home. All the way, 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 home. All right, something like that. It is very rough still. We got a ways to go, but you get the idea of what the song is, right? So I'm gonna make you guys mad. I'm gonna do it again. Sleepy night in the country, all the streets they are empty, and I can see the street signs shining in the moonlight. Sleepy night in the country, all the streets they are empty, no one is stirring, 'cause everybody's sleeping. All the way, 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 all the way. And night is red out. I can feel the sea now. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. All the way, all the way, all the way, all the way, that's the song basically. There's a lot more to it. It has to do with just inner peace and stuff like that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the song. It's not obviously completed, but I'll try and get the completed product to you guys with a video. So we'll get that out there. But yeah, you guys should check out The Way Back. It's really awesome. It's a story of redemption. I'm sure it's very personal to Ben Affleck. I heard he struggled with alcoholism through that story because he kind of got addicted to alcohol again because he kind of had to be this drunken guy and confront his inner problems. You know, all of us have inner problems, and all of us want peace. And I think this song just kind of reveal everything about it if I can, almost like a catharsis of I'm letting out my inner feelings on it. And I know songs and music are subject to interpretation, but I'm just going to tell you how I feel about it. For me, it was a kind of catharsis because even me moving slowly, going, slowly amongst, everything that was happening and so on, it was like a catharsis for me. Because I felt like I needed to have a certain degree of peace and calm. A lot of us, we find ourselves, and I know certain relatives of my family can identify with this. You find yourself turning with the outer world. You find yourself being influenced so much by the outer world that your inner peace is gone, sort of like, because the outer world always sometimes tries to force you to speed up where you shouldn't, or force you to slow down where you shouldn't. And there's a lot of distractions, and all of us, without getting too deep and spiritual, in simple language, all of us need to move at our own pace. All of us need to understand our tempo or speed. Fast is not necessarily effective. Rushing is not necessarily the way to get real results all the time. I've seen guys who are very contemplative and very strategic in how they move, and they're not very fast movers, and they progress very well through life. Because one of the things I've learned in life is it's really proper planning that allows you to really do things. I've learned this from my ex, I've seen some very influential people and leaders really just take their time with certain things. The more you sort of take your time to do things properly is the less likely you have to do them again. Sometimes patience is the best way to go. And to go to the spiritual end of the spectrum, because I met a very spiritual person, a number of very spiritual people today, which was very good. To go to the spiritual end of the spectrum a little bit with you guys. And you guys can chime in and you can leave your comments if you want to. Sometimes everything has its time, right? So if you are in a rush to do something and you did not cover something that you were supposed to cover, guess what? You still have to go back and get that finished before you can move forward. And that's just speaking spiritually. And I'll relate it to you guys in a very practical sort of way. So let's say, for instance, you're rushing to finish a puzzle, right? And you rush to the puzzle and it looks like you fit every single piece in the puzzle. And when it comes to the last piece of the puzzle that you have to fit in there, it doesn't fit. And it makes no logical sense to you. And you're wasting time trying to force that piece into there, right? Not understanding that the puzzle was designed in such a manner that it will make it look like some of the pieces that you were fitting together really work. And it's actually a much more complex puzzle than you thought. And that you should have taken your time with the puzzle so that you actually, when you come to the last piece, you have to do the whole puzzle all over again just to get all the pieces to fit. That's life. And there are a lot of people that go through life and we deem them highly successful, but they have either failing relationships or they have failing their children don't do well. Their children fail, or what I mean fail, I mean like in terms of they may succeed academically, or they may succeed in sports. They may succeed in certain aspects of life, but the whole sphere of life, they fail in other areas, you know. And if you would take your time, people, stop rushing around and trying to get things instantaneously. And this is what this exercise is about. Because if you reach this far in the video with me, it means you actually started to take your time, and you actually started to become more patient. Because this is a fast-paced world. Nobody's gonna go through a video for how many minutes were we at? We're at 58 minutes, almost an hour. So if you actually made it through this far, then that's really good, because it just shows that you can take your time. My punchline is Zack Snyder's that kind of guy. You have to take your time with him. And to really appreciate what he's doing, you can't rush through things superficially and try and gather all the information you can. You know, I always tell people gather files on people all the time, whether you're gathering a mental file on someone or assessing them, whatever. But really, the only way you get to kind of know people is if you take your time with them and you listen to them, but not just listen to them, because that's not enough. You have to see how they behave, how they react under different situations, because a conversation is one thing, but you have to see what the heart of the person is, and even then, you still don't know them. And I think if I could ever take home from all, specific relationships I had that were deep with people, whether it's my mom, my dad, my ex, my brothers, my cousins, of which some of those relationships were more superficial than others. But the deeper the relationship you get with anyone, I don't care who they are, and I usually have deep discussions with different people anyway. They always go deep, and they always go spiritual. It doesn't matter. We always end up spiritual somewhere. But regardless, a discussion is one thing. Living and understanding and learning people is much more than any file on them can ever be, right? And no matter what, how much data people collect on you and pictures and stuff, they cannot know the inner workings of you. They'll never know the inner workings of you unless they get to know you for themselves. And a lot of people don't have time for that. They just assess you and then that's it. Why I say this is because Zack Snyder has been incorrectly assessed by a lot of people. And the only way you're really going to know Zack Snyder is if Zack Snyder starts speaking for himself, and then you get to see how he behaves with his family and etc. That's the only way you really know Zack Snyder a bit more than he's portrayed. And I appreciate the guy. I just want to say, I appreciate you, Zack Snyder, for giving to my life something that I didn't expect. And you gave me the boldness to speak out even more, even though sometimes, it's just been extremely negative and vitriolic. And I apologize for that to everybody. But you gave me that opportunity to speak. And I think God sort of put you there to do that. And this is a significant day. I think that Zack Snyder is a Christian. And I think he uses some of the most... If you're a Christian, it takes a while to really process what Zack is doing, because Zack will quote from everybody, like all the most controversial sources you would think, at least. But if anybody knows how God operates, and if you've ever had an experience with God, you'll know he's somewhat controversial himself. When Jesus was here, he was an extremely controversial figure. And that's why BVS on Easter Sunday was just a great movie, because Zack brought that controversy to Superman and just totally imitated Jesus in that respect. And I can't give him any more credit than that. And you could see that Zack consciously made an effort to pay tribute to Jesus Christ. And, I just absolutely from my bottom of my heart, Zack Snyder, really admire that. Did you bold enough? The only guy that I know paid tribute to Jesus Christ, and he did it pretty overtly, was Mel Gibson. I mean, The Passion of the Christ was just, it's one of the greatest movies ever. Okay. And mainly because this guy had the balls to step out there and show people from a physical perspective and even from an emotional perspective just how much God went to, or Jesus went to save us. And it's just, I mean, the ultimate Superman, right? And Zach decided to pay tribute to that, kind of pick off where Mel left off, and build this mythos over Jesus Christ. I know some people will say, well, Zach is talking about the mythos of Jesus Christ. I understand, because some people quote the, all the gods and all the hells and heavens within you. But you have to understand that quotation has a context, and it depends on what context you're coming from. Zack Snyder's an interesting guy to me. I'm pretty sure he thinks a lot. You can tell. I'm pretty sure he's deep into art, and I can see he appreciates art a lot. And so even these art contests that the release of Snyder Cut comes, even though I didn't really enter the contest or anything, I really appreciate them, because people like myself, we just get to, I mean, I'm not as deep a thinker. Well, I don't know if I'm as deep a thinker as Zack Snyder, but what I do know is, and I love the imageries that he creates and stuff, and I understand the metaphors and stuff, and I understand the virtues. See, a lot of times people think that, but anyway, this is a rambling discussion, so I appreciate him. And that's why you guys know, I put up videos all the time on YouTube and whatever. I haven't put up a video much, and so I guess I'm overcompensating for that, but I really appreciate him, because he's pulling us out of the woodworks. And I hope you guys don't just apply this to the Snyder Cut issue, but I hope you apply it to every aspect of your daily lives, where you can shine some light and just really bless people with, those attributes and virtues that we need today in the world. I don't care what your problem is, or lack of problem, if you think you don't have a problem. Listen, man, everybody has issues. Don't let it stop you from doing that, from shining your light where you are. Whether you believe in God or not, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys believe in doing good and helping people. And if you do, that's great. That's the start. And that's where I come from. Me, I love Jesus. You guys know that, even though I don't always show it in action. But that's my center. I just love how, if you guys who know me from the older videos, you know that's where I'm coming from every single time. But I appreciate you guys as well. And for me, Jesus doesn't stem to just me, and it's all about you guys. At the end of the day, it's all about you guys, and I just hope that you guys will have I hope somehow I can pass something to you guys that will bless you. That's what I really mean to say. So I'm gonna play this song again, and I hope you guys enjoy it again, because I'm putting it together as we speak. I did kind of have a better flow this morning, but I'm still gonna play it. And time now is probably somewhere around the hour I was walking, so I don't have a pedal. I have to get a pedal back for this keyboard. I sold that pedal with another keyboard. So let's get to it, people. And the person never complained to me about the keyboard, so probably worked well. There was a little problem with the output, power. I guess that wasn't an issue. I hope so. I'll have to contact them later. Anyway, guys, before I continue any further, I also want to give tribute to some of you guys who really showed some creativity in the release of Snyder Cut. And I hope to put up some of the pictures and stuff that you guys have done. I don't really want to talk about certain things that I am not interested in DC. So if you guys ask me about DC Comics and stuff, and should I do videos on future DC movies? I'm not really that interested in future DC movies at this point in time, and WB and what they're doing. I'm sorry. I just apologize for that in advance. For some of you guys who are interested in that stuff, and you're probably real DC fans, because I guess I'm not. I understand, but I'm not really going to talk about things I'm not interested in. So I'm sorry about that in advance. But I'll tell you this: I will talk about movies still. And the movie The Way Back is a movie I recommend everybody go and see. I think it's a good movie. I think it's worth your time. I know it's kind of, some of the stories kind of typical redemption movie stuff, but from what I listened to Trace Pacer talk about on this channel, I think it's a worthwhile movie to go see. So you guys should go check it out. I'm definitely gonna go check it out. I didn't go see Bad Boys 3. I didn't go see Rise of Skywalker. I didn't go see none of those movies in the theater. It's hard for you gotta understand, guys. I don't just go into the theater just to watch a movie like that. I mean, it's hard for me to do that. It's not that I don't like spending money on stuff. It's just that a movie must mean something to me. It must mean something to me. I can tell you for now, The Way Back means something to me because this is where I'm at in my life. I'm on the way back. So for me, this is a great movie to go see. And a lot of, just recently there, a good friend of mine, his mom died. And I really would like him to see The Way Back for that reason. So there's just like reasons why I would want to go in the cinema and see a movie. I just don't want to just go see a movie for entertainment's sake. I'm sorry, I'm just not that kind of person. I prefer to live life, and I haven't actually watched Rise of Skywalker. Isn't that crazy? I haven't watched any of those movies. Movies for me have to mean something. I've been through some stuff in my life, and I don't just like going into cinema just to be entertained for no reason at all. Like, I prefer to have things that have significance behind them and actually break down the stories, based on the significance that they can have bearing on you and I. I had a good friend on Facebook. I haven't been on Facebook otherwise just to do business. But I had a good friend on Facebook, and he's doing pretty well with himself. He's getting contracts and stuff to write movies and assess things and so on. And he always looks for depth in movies and things that are applicable to you and I. And I pray God that some of you guys will do that when you go to watch a movie, you find something significant for yourself and for your life that you can take from it. It doesn't make sense feasting on things that are not going to help you in some way with your life. Back in the day, whether it was a comic book movie or not, well, generally not a comic book movie, there were movies that had questions that they would ask us, put situations that would make us wonder what happened if I was in this situation, etc. And I don't know if movies are still like that. Some of the movies are more or less Hollywood flaunting art and not really with any particular substance behind it. You talk about great acting and stuff. I don't really care about that. Like, yes, of course I care about proper acting, but to be honest with you, it's the story and the questions that the story poses to us that I think may have some relevance to us, and therefore it's important. I don't want to go to a story or go to a movie, and the storyteller's telling me something that's entertaining, but that's it. That I just leave the theater and I'm like, yeah, it was a great movie, and I never watch the movie ever again. I don't care about it anymore. What's the use of that? For me, especially now, and just in the world right now, and just in terms of how things are changing all the time. And I'm learning a lot about how things are changing. And the world is rapidly changing. I remember Future Shock was a book I read. And it's literally shocking for me. And then the other thing about it is, and nobody really, people have done movies on this, but they kind of scratch the surface on this. The changing of the guard is a very, It's a very solemn thing. When you're still, I'm 45, right? When you're 45 years old or you're 50 years old and you're hearing guys talk about how they can't do jump shots anymore, and you see people who, were your parents or your teachers or your leaders, and they're all dying off, and you realize that the guard is changing, and you realize you're next. You're the senior people in society. That everybody's looking to you, and you're the next. You're the next. What I mean by that is you're the guard now. It's a very sobering thought. It's a very sobering thought. When you have to consider your health at an age, you have to go to doctor appointments. You may be still feeling young, but I was talking to a wonderful lady today, and she she looks young, but she's like old. She got a lot of years behind her, and she's talking about how she has to pace herself because some people, they overextend themselves and then they get strokes or they die. And the other thing that, as I reach these ages, as you start stacking numbers, you realize how easy it is for people to die. And you're seeing a lot of younger people dying. What does all of this have to do with anything? Oh, okay. So it sobers you up. So you don't want to just go watch a movie to be entertained, You want to go see something that means something. And that you can relate to. So, that's how I look at things. And I hope you guys appreciate this long spiel. Sleepy night in the city, a mellow night in the country, and I see the street signs shining in the nightlight. Sleepy night in the country, all the city is empty. Now the soul is stirring, 'cause everybody's sleeping. On the way, 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 on the sleepy night in the country. Now the soul, it is empty. I see the street signs shining in the moonlight. Sleepy night in the country. All the streets, they are empty, and no one is stirring, 'cause everyone is sleeping. On the way, 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 on the way home. something like that. Yeah, guys, man. It was nice talking with you guys. I'm gonna catch myself some sleep. We're gonna work on the other songs. I got a bunch of songs I gotta do, so I gotta get stepping on it. I was supposed to finish off some lyrics for the song today, but I didn't get it done, so probably tomorrow. Salute. I gotta go wet some plants now. I'm gonna catch you guys later.